Welcome back to this next lecture, in which we will be covering some very critical aspects for leadership, namely vision and strategy. How we're going to do this is we're going to help you develop a vision towards a sanitation issue of your interest. The idea here, we'll get into it a little bit later, but the idea is for you to put down on paper what sanitation goal you want to achieve. Visions, remember, right? Bold. We'll get to that. And the second one is we'll use one of the most renowned change management framework. This one's Kotter's 8 Steps for Change, now updated to 8 accelerators for change management, that will help you develop your strategy for your vision. So, first thing, what is a vision and what do we use it for? Take time to discuss with your classmates and come back in about 5 to 10 minutes. So, you might have come with some discussions of what a vision is and what do we use it for. If we look at the very technical definition, it talks about something aspirational, something that you want to achieve in the mid to long term, and it should serve as a clear guide to current and future courses of action. Now, if you link this back to our leadership definition, our working definition, you see that direction is something that we provide with also in the form of a vision. Where we are going, what is our high-level goals and objectives. So what are the key components of visions, according to Cantabura and Avery? I'll let you in your lecture now discuss these next key points for clarity and for better understanding by you of what requires a good vision. Take about 5 minutes for this, and then we'll come back. So, it seems like there's a lot of them, right? Trying to make 7 of these points fit in a nice tweet level type of thing, it is very challenging. And I'm fully on board on that with you. It's not easy, but is it worth it? Yes. Research has shown that if you can provide good vision statements for yourself or for the projects or for the organizations that you do, they're likely to bring about a much better performance. So the idea here is not that you have to hit all 7 of these characteristics of visions perfectly, but that you should try and aim to hit as many as you can and make a vision that is inspirational and powerful as you can. So, back in for a swim. Now, we're going to give you some time to, considering the characteristics of the visions that we've covered, to develop a vision of what you want to achieve for a sanitation-related issue or challenge in your home country. Take about 10 to 15 minutes by yourself to write this out, write that strong vision, and then take another 10 minutes in pairs to discuss and give feedback on what your visions were like. Do this, and then come back and we'll continue. So, you crafted your vision. You've shared it with someone else, you've got your initial round of feedback. This is great. This is a very strong starting point that will help you personally and in your career, and practically for this course in your individual leadership development plan. This will have a part which is related to your vision and your use of Kotter's 8 Steps of Change. So, once you have your vision, it's important for you to know how to communicate it. And by that, it means, in this terms that we use, advocacy, which is organizing activities to influence policies, actions, and people of those aspects or organizations that you want to be able to change, that you need your vision to make your vision come through. So, I want to share with you this very simple diagram of how you communicate a message in order to help establish one very key point. You will be the sender, right? You will have your vision, and you will have a receiver, or many receivers, right? Depending on how you're communicating your vision. Your channel can be a personal talk, it can be a presentation, a video, an article, a newspaper clipping. It depends. The important thing here, though, is that you need to tailor your message and channel to meet the needs of the receiver. The receiver will be willing to understand and take in as much as they are expecting from the channel and the medium that you're sharing with, channel, which is the medium that you're sharing with them. So make sure that when you want to communicate your vision, you keep in mind that you need to tailor that message to the channel, to the receiver. Okay? Now we walk into this, turning your vision into a strategy. We're going to look at Kotter's change management strategy. It's one of the more well-known change management frameworks that are used. There are many. This one is particularly useful in organizational contexts in which there is a degree of trust among the people working in the organization, and your desire for change is medium. This wouldn't be very applicable for radical change or for organizations where there's a lot of mistrust. For that, there's other frameworks that are more apt. So Kotter's change management framework. Hopefully by now, your lecturer will have shared this with you, or will share this with you shortly. I will highlight some aspects of these 8 steps that are important for translating your vision into a strategy. So we start with creating a sense of urgency. So obviously this is the sense that you want to create within a group of people, which will be your coalition. The sense of urgency is what you feel, what is driving you to create this vision. What is it that you can communicate about that urgency to this coalition? Now, common mistakes that happen when you try to build a guiding coalition is that you try to find all the key actors that you need to communicate and convince and influence at the same time. But we do this way later. Your coalition, you need to find it within your sphere of influence. And by sphere of influence, I mean, who can you sit with and have a coffee? Who can you walk into their office and have a chat with them about something that is not directly related to the work, right? These people that form your coalition, with them, you will form that strategic vision and initiative. And this vision will probably be a version of your vision that you work together with the input of others. Once you have this vision and these initiatives that you want to take through, you enlist a volunteer army. And this is when you spread out your networks. You spread out you and your coalition's networks to try and find who is willing to put in some time into making the vision that you've presented with the urgency that you've communicated into a reality. Part of this process will involve enabling the removal of barriers and generating short-term wins. These two are important because at the beginning, say in the first 6 months to a year of your initiative, you need to make sure that you show that you've generated momentum, that you've generated change that is possible. You need to be able to sow the seed of possibility in the people that you're working with. By doing so, your vision will gain more and more power and influence of others, in which case you then move to the final 2 steps, which is sustaining the acceleration and instituting change. And by sustaining the acceleration, this means finding the key aspects that'll keep this going, even if you're not there, or even if part of your coalition is not there. And instituting change means the formal change to how the rules of the game, let's say it be they formal or informal, are played. I know this can sound a little bit complex at the beginning, right? But as a starting point, we're going to go back in the water. And this is what we're going to do. You're going to take your vision and you're going to answer for each one of these the questions that we've set up here. These questions will help you prepare each of the steps of your strategy and will also serve as input for your ILDP. So take time to work on these. When you're done, come back and we'll wrap up. If you manage to finish all 8, congratulations, you deserve a medal. Most of us don't get past point 4 or 5 within 30 minutes, at best. This is a working document. This is not set in stone. So make sure you keep visiting these different steps in your strategy and fine-tuning them as you go along. This will help ensure that the vision that you set forward becomes a reality. Here are the key takeaway points again. Take your time to look at them when you have some time. I want to thank you again for joining me in this lecture, and I wish you success in turning your visions into powerful strategies for positive change. Thank you.